So this month begins, Libra, for you with a big emphasis on practicalities, but on the 5th, I can't wait to tell you about a very exciting and very rare connection between the North Node and Chiron, and this can have particular significance for relationships. We have a supermoon on the 10th, the spring equinox on the 20th, and the lunar eclipse in your sign on the 25th. So it's an action-packed month. Please stay with me for more. If you would like to ascend above this zodiac broadcast and understand what's going on in your personal astrology based on your unique birth data, if you share with me your time, date and place, or date and place, I can produce for you your life roadmap report. This will give you searing insights into the patterns that are played out in your life so far and a much more intimate understanding of how to work with them and seize opportunities going forwards. In my special package of 30% off, you can also get your 12-month transit forecast. This is an analysis of the moving planets in the sky and how they're interacting with your unique blueprint. So really exciting. Please see the link below. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. And also please feel very welcome to comment and interact with me. So Libra, as you begin this month, so the midpoint between the Sun and the Moon is at 10 degrees in Capricorn. So there is still that underlying theme around your emotional situation and how you feel about things, family life and where you live. But that midpoint does actually stand up in a great angle to Jupiter, the planet of growth, which is in your 8th house, which can be to do with long-term finance. So if you are looking to improve a situation, Jupiter's helpful there, and also on the first day is in a very lucky link with the Sun. Sun sextile Jupiter, which peaks on the 1st but goes on through to the 4th, is one of astrology's best influences. It just so happens that for you this time round, both the position of the Sun and Jupiter are not necessarily the sexiest locations. The Sun's in your 6th house of those practicalities I mentioned: health, work, fitness, life, order, organisation. But Jupiter's in your 8th house of those shared or longer term finances. Some good fortune could come. It could come quite spontaneously. Maybe it's going to be the payback for past hard work and application. It's just that the Sun did link with Saturn towards the end of last month, and it's possible that at the end of February your energy wasn't the greatest, and it might not be particularly high at the start of this month. But I mentioned that nodal conjunction with Chiron. That's on the 5th. They're actually in touch with each other all this month. If you're wanting to work on just how you feel about being heard, which I think is a lot to do with relating, we don't necessarily expect that everybody is going to want to spend all their time with us, or is going to be our best friend, or wants to be in a relationship with us, but we do want to be recognised and heard. It's quite a basic human need, and yet modern society can make that difficult at times. But certainly that conjunction can be very, very positive and very healing for you if you can look at your situation in your life and your qualities in a positive way. Now, there is in week 2 a developing link between the Sun and Uranus. Sun in house 6, Uranus in 8. If you think about resources in a fresh way, or try to take some more novel approaches to unlock something that's been a bit stuck, it could pay off for you, particularly with the super new moon of the 10th, because that is very strongly linked to Uranus. So even if things are to do with, getting quite organised, decluttering, which Uranus is like space, and the 6th house is order, being a bit more virtuous in your routines, trying to find some marginal gains around your diet and exercise and fitness, that can all flow on from that particular new moon in the following month. But you may want to actually collaborate with someone else around any kind of exercise, because Mercury moves into your opposite sign on the same day. If things have been a little bit tense around communications or a bit brittle, Mercury moving into the 7th house is a great place for it to be, because we get a bit more detached, a bit more chilled out if people see things differently. But ironically, your ruler replaces Mercury on the 11th in your 6th house. What it's saying to you in this transition is you can be good and you can be sacrificing, whether it's around the domestic chores at home for family members or a partner, or you can be the person that, supports people at work. But that part of your nature could be tested by the 21st as Venus aligns with Saturn. And if you do feel a bit used, your goodwill gets taken for granted, that could be something that does call out to you in week 3. But there is a paradox, because from the 22nd to the 27th, Venus forges an amazing link to Jupiter. So where you do show a little bit of sacrifice and make that extra effort, it could be richly appreciated and rewarded. Now, the Sun is going to be very close to Neptune through 14 to 19, and that is a link in the 6th house which can see lower physical vitality. So you start the month with that potential, and then from the 14th to the 19th again, I'd conserve what energy you do have. But by the 20th, the Sun powers its way into its home, start of its new journey through the sign of Aries with the spring equinox and with the start of the astrological calendar year. But for you, this is house 7, but it's linking with Pluto in house 5. This passionate alliance, well, it's just unbelievable. So the next 13 weeks can absolutely be full throttle when it comes to really trying to get from life enrichment from your passion. The 5th house can be to do with speculation, being a little bit more risk-taking where Pluto is. Of course, it can be to do with love and romance. The 7th house is where we relate to others, and that spring equinox also links brilliantly to the moon in Leo, which of course is very positive for you because that's your friendship sector. So there's a lot to like about that spring equinox. It's really going to move you forwards from the more practical dimension of earlier in the month into a much more playful and interactive one. Now, the 22nd does see Mars move out of your 5th house, where it is great for feeling good about ourselves and feeling alluring and attractive. But moving into the sign of Pisces, it's not its best transit, but for you, house 6 can actually see Mars give you more vitality. So the energy that Saturn and Neptune drain on the Sun at the start of the month, from the 14th to the 19th, can actually see you get more vitality and spark going from the 22nd. But then we have the lunar eclipse, the micromoon, in your sign on the 25th. And of course, as usual, it's about relationships. If you're feeling unfulfilled, this is a mighty boost because Pluto aligns to both the moon and the Sun. It's a trine to your moon and a sextile to the Sun. So what's Pluto saying? Well, I feel Pluto in the 5th house is about desire. So you're wanting to feel enriched, much more satisfied. And because of that conjunction between the North Node and Chiron, which is really the backdrop story of the month, all the sacrifice that 6th house energy can see you put in, it really could get to a breaking point if you just still feel that whatever you do, it's never recognised, never appreciated. You really could become much more feisty towards the end of this month and much more assertive in letting people know how you feel about things. That's your cardinal energy, leader, and when you really do get dissatisfied, you can represent the energy of your opposite sign of Aries a lot more than people realise. The last 2 days of this month do see a conjunction developing within 3 degrees between Jupiter and Uranus, which peaks on the 21st of April. If you are someone who's very open to technology or new approaches, open-minded, and want to transform your life in some kind of powerful way, you're certainly going to have an opportunity with the thrust of this eclipse at the end of this March Libra.